What's up, guys? K Wills here. Today I'm going to do my review of The Legend of Korra, Episode 9, Out of the Past. Overall, this was a solid episode, but I watched some other people's reviews on this episode, and I kind of agree with the whole thing, with the pacing of how, Tarlok was introduced as this, new villain, and then now in this episode, Episode 9, he was taken out. And it kind of does suck because, Tarlok was, to me, a interesting character in the fact that he was a bloodbender and that he had his own goals, and perhaps he was another main villain. You had Tarlok, and then you had Amon, and Korra had to deal with both of them. But in this episode, pretty much Tarlok got taken out easily, and that kind of bugged some people out, including myself. But I mean, overall, the whole episode itself was a pretty solid episode. So pretty much with the whole beginning, Korra is taken to the left side this room in this steel box, and pretty much that's where Tarlok is keeping her. And then Tarlok basically comes up with this idea of framing the Equalists, saying that how they attacked Korra and Tarlok when they were in the council room, and then it was just like they saw the aftermath of the battle, and then you saw Tarlok. He put in like Equalist mask, the gloves and everything, and he actually socked himself on the arm just to make it seem so believable the fact that the Equalists came in. And Tenzin had believed him, not knowing what really happened. And then Lin Beifong hears this on the radio, and she gets up, even though she's still injured, she gears up and everything, and she first frees Asami, Bolin, and Mako, and they tell her what's been going on, and they go to the Eagles hideout, try to find it, and pretty much save Korra. And I gotta say, I love the seismic vision. Just hitting your foot in the ground, and then you just see everything around you with all that using the foot thing. The thing that Toph created. It's pretty cool. I like seismic vision. Um, and so pretty much afterwards, they're trying to question all the Equalists, and they actually found those metal benders, but they got their bending taken away, and Blizzard was like, damn, they were too late. And so pretty much what happened was Mako was kind of getting frustrated. He was like, yo, where's Korra? Where's Korra? And then you saw Sami looking at him like, wow, like he really cares for Korra. And then you can tell now that Mako's starting to have more feelings for Korra. And the fact is that Asami didn't do anything, so that's the thing where you kind of feel bad for her because it's not like she betrayed him or anything like that. And when they didn't find Korra, they would go back to the councilman room. And also, this before, throughout this whole episode, Korra was meditating, and we saw the full flashback with the whole thing with Aang and Yukon. And pretty much, Yukon was arrested. Because first of all, he was the leader of a huge criminal organization in Republic City. And the thing is, we find out that Yukon is indeed a bloodbender. And apparently now that's illegal. It's a banned technique. You cannot bloodbend. And so pretty much when he was sentenced to life in prison, Yukon just bloodbended everybody in the trial. Like, and I mean everybody. And it showed how strong he was that he was able to bloodbend without there being, the full moon and so many people at the same time. It's pretty crazy. And so when he escapes and everything, Aang gets knocked out and everybody else does, but then you hear like the old soundtrack, Last Airbender, and then Aang wakes up, Avatar state, he just runs after Yukon, and then pretty much the confrontation happened, and then Yukon was bloodbending Aang, and he almost died. He looked like he was gonna break every bone in his body from his leg and arm. It's still kind of creepy to me with bloodbending. I don't like it, but Aang was able to break free, of course, go into Avatar state, and pretty much restrained Yukon and took away his bending. And that was pretty much the end of the whole flashback. And then from this, Korra learned that the reason why Tarlok's able to bloodbend is because he is the son of Yukon. And then during going back to the council room, when Tarlok was being confronted, and then that desk lady was saying how, oh, Tarlok the bloodbender, they, he's dangerous, and Tarlok got caught, and he was just frustrated. He just bloodbended everybody, and Tenzin, Bolin, and the rest of Team Avatar, and they got all knocked out. And then they left, and he left, and he was pretty much angry because the thing is, his status, Tarlok's status is very important to him because, he reveals that yes, he is the son of Yukon, and he had to change his identity, so that people won't know who he was. And the fact is that he wanted to be the savior for the city and try to be the leader like his father did. But his father was involved with all this criminal activity and everything like that. And so when Tarlok was going to leave, Amon appears, and he's with the lieutenant and a few other members of the Equalists, and he's like, "You get ready to get equalized." And I guess it's kind of revenge because his hideout did get attacked by Tenzin and everybody else. So perhaps maybe that's why he also went after Tarlok, and maybe Amon's connections are that strong that he has people everywhere. That even if you're not wearing the Equalist group outfit, that people know. They know who they like. Basically, people who are not dressed as equalists, they're still equalists out there, helping out Mon and stuff like that. So that's probably why he found out where Tarlok was. And so when Tarlok starts to bloodbend everybody, they all get taken out except for Amon. And Amon is just standing there, walking slowly, and you can hear that, the bloodbending is trying to control Amon, but it's not working. And then he pretty much goes behind Tarlok, takes out his bending, and yeah, Tarlok is done, and Korra was able to break free by faking like she got electrocuted, and then she kind of looks like she's about to fight him on, but then she just runs away because she's just exhausted, she's tired and everything, and then she managed to escape, and then they reunited with Team Avatar and everybody else, and once again Mako shows his effects on Korra, saying, "Give her some space, give her some space." Or you'll rise, he carries her and everything like that. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. Like I said, it was a solid episode, but the pacing, I really think that Tarlok should have gotten a few more episodes in, to really make him stand out as another villain. What I also would like to say is that with Amon being able to restrict the what you call it, yeah, being restricted of the bloodbending, I truly do believe that he's a chi bender, and the fact that he can bend chi and energy. Because the thing is, when you see the preview for the season 1 finale of Legend of Korra, you see that Amon is like he has his hand like he's grabbing something, like he's bloodbending. And then you see like Mako and Korra, they're twitching their bodies, they can't control their bodies and everything, and it makes you believe that maybe Amon um, couldn't. Well, actually, I take that back. What I just said. When pretty much, I believe he's an energy bender because of the way that he can resist the blood bending and the fact that he's able to basically block somebody's bending. It makes logical sense. And I wanted to say that the whole thing where in the preview, people were saying that Amon is a bloodbender because of how he had his arm, like his bloodbending, and the fact that Mako and Korra were twitching. So I don't know about that if Amon is a bloodbender, but I don't think he is because I mean it can be too weird. I mean too much bloodbending, It just we know with Yukon and Tarlok, but if Amon too, that'd be a little bit too much. Also with why I believe that Amon is a cheap block bender is the fact that Sokka said himself in the flashback that there are other unique forms of bending. There are Combustion Man. He bended fire with his mind and made those huge explosions. You had Topher, metal bending, and blood bending. You have all these different types of bending that perhaps there is a chi bending. Yeah, you can bend energy in different ways because the whole thing with the person and their chakra points and everything like that we learned from the old Wuru from the last Airbender. But I do believe so. And also, a lot of people were saying with Katara how she wasn't there. I think she wasn't there because she was either taking care of her kids or the fact that Katara was pregnant during the time. That maybe, she had a baby, and then Aang knew that maybe if Yukon's a bloodbender, that kind of be dangerous, endangering his wife and everything like that. But yeah, that's why I think Katara wasn't there. But overall, this was a good episode. But it kind of sucks that Tarlok gets taken out, but we'll see later on. So let me know your thoughts on this episode below. What you liked about it, disliked about it. Predictions are always welcome. And thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.